relationships can get a little messy. And trust us, we mean this literally. After years and years of public drama, Amber Heard and Johnny Depp have finally decided to take things to court and settle scores once and for all. But it looks like things are far from over with all the new information that's been coming to the surface from their recent testimonies. And let's just say that one of these instances has definitely left a stain on their relationship, one that's super hard to scrub out, especially now that the whole world knows about it. The beginning of a troubled relationship. So what's the deal with Johnny Depp and Amber Heard? Let's take things all the way back to 2009, when the former couple first crossed paths with one another on the set of their film, The Rum Diary. Now, if they knew that this is how bleepy, no pun intended, things were going to get for them, they probably would have just stayed away from each other then and there. But, well, sparks flew, and the two ended up developing feelings for one another. However, Depp was with his longtime partner, Vanessa Paradis, at the time, and the two are also parents to children, Lily Rose and John Christopher. So it's safe to say that neither Depp nor Heard acted on their feelings. Fast forward to 2012 when Depp and Paradis went their separate ways. Amber Heard came back into his life and the two finally made it official in 2014 and got engaged. Only a year later, this whirlwind romance led to marriage, and just 15 months later, the two had separated. And that's when it all started going south. Heard claimed that Johnny had been an abusive husband to her, even going as far as to file a restraining order against him. According to Heard, Depp was always under the influence of drugs and alcohol, making him extremely aggressive. The final straw, as told by Heard, was when her ex-husband threw his phone at her and bruised her face horribly. This put their entire relationship up for public discussion. Now, any move made by either of them was scrutinized to no end, with people accusing Johnny Depp of being a wife-beater, despite his vehement denials. According to Depp's representatives, this was Amber Heard's way of trying to secure a premature financial resolution by pressuring the actor with abuse allegations. After all of this, both the parties managed to come to a decision. A settlement of $7 million was negotiated, and Amber withdrew her restraining order as well. Then Heard and Depp both released a joint statement as well, saying that their relationship was intensely passionate and even volatile at times, but there was never any intent of emotional or physical harm. Heard allegedly also donated her share of the settlement to charity, and well, that should have been it, right? Nope. Because in 2018, 1 year after the divorce was finalized, Amber Heard wrote a piece in the Washington Post speaking about domestic abuse cases and how women were treated for coming out with their stories. This was a bit odd coming from someone who was an alleged abuser in her past relationship, this time with her ex-partner, Taysa Van Ree. Yep, in 2009, Heard was arrested on account of physically assaulting Van Ree by grabbing and hitting her arm. However, the charges were dropped when Van Ree said that she had wrongfully accused Amber Heard. Now, we don't know about you, but something just isn't sitting right here. Coming back to Heard's piece, while she had never mentioned Johnny Depp by name in there, she heavily implied having gone through unspeakable domestic abuse that had left her scarred forever. But the twist in the story came when Depp went ahead and sued his ex-wife for defamation. Hollywood had boycotted the actor over the wife-beater allegations, which was why the lawsuit alleged that Amber Heard was falsely accusing the actor to try and generate a positive image for herself and a negative one for everyone else involved. At this point, the bleep had obviously hit the fan, and the bed was next to come. Why? Well, because in 2020, the world was exposed to a bunch of phone recordings where Amber Heard admitted to assaulting Johnny Depp, completely turning the tables and causing people to question everything that had been going on. The actress can be heard saying things like, "I sometimes get so mad that I lose it," and gaslighting Depp by denying that her assault had caused him any hurt. This led to a trial, and Johnny Depp sued two publications that had accused him of being an abuser, solely based on Heard's claims. This trial began in July of 2020 and started off by Heard accusing her ex of physically abusing her and even threatening to kill her on occasions. However, Depp responded with allegations of extramarital affairs, physical violence, adding that she had even gone as far as defecating in his bed after he had broken up with her. Yep. That actually happened, but more on that later, after we have the whole picture. Coming back to Depp versus Heard trial, Depp ended up losing that legal battle. To add insult to injury, only 4 days later, he was asked to resign from his role as Grindelwald in Fantastic Beasts 3. So it's safe to say that by this point, Depp's career in Hollywood was on a downward spiral. After all the requests to appeal against the verdict were denied, Depp decided to take a back seat for a while. Until now. In April of 2022, the trial for his $50 million defamation lawsuit against Amber Heard was officially initiated, opening up a whole new Pandora's box. The lawsuit was originally filed back in 2019 after Heard's article in the Washington Post, but it had been delayed until April 11th due to the pandemic. In Heard's defense, her lawyers argued that had the article actually been about Depp, it would have been way uglier, since the relationship between the two was full of abuse from Depp's side. On the other side, Depp's lawyers claimed that Amber Heard was a liar who had falsely accused him of abuse to alienate him from the entertainment industry. But the whole world was shook when Johnny Depp himself took the stand and openly claimed that Heard was the abuser in their relationship. He said that once they were married, things started shifting slowly, with the actress calling him names and throwing things at him. Then it started escalating to emotional manipulations and blame games. According to Depp, Heard has a need for violence, and her outbursts would just erupt out of nowhere. Now, whenever these arguments would happen and Heard would start throwing wine glasses and whatever else she could find at him, Depp claims that he would lock himself in bathrooms to try and escape. The actor also opened up about how his father had faced the same kind of abuse from his mom, which is why he felt like he needed to stay with Heard and fix their relationship. The actor also claimed that while he was in fact addicted to drugs and alcohol, it was the constant abuse that Heard put him through which led to it. He needed something to distract him from everything that had been going on at home, and being out of it all the time was the perfect solution. However, the actor said that he did try to sober up for a good while, until one day, Heard instigated a fight, making Johnny lock himself up in at least 9 bedrooms and bathrooms just to make sure that the situation didn't turn physical. All the while, Heard was banging on the door and screaming obscenities at him. But of course, he couldn't take it after a while and ended up pouring himself some shots of vodka to try and numb himself. But seeing this, Heard charged at him and threw a bottle of vodka at him. And when that missed, she threw another one, which ended up slicing his middle right finger. Depp also testified to lying to his doctors about how his finger had been injured rather than telling them that his then-wife was the one responsible. The poop trials. In the middle of it all, several pictures, recorded phone calls, and similar evidence was dug up to show the extent to which their relationship had deteriorated, with the poop incident being one that everyone was curious about. Ever since Depp had talked about Poopgate back in his trial in 2020, the world had been waiting to find out what the real story was and whether it had really happened. And, well, folks, we hate to be the bearer of bad news, but it certainly did. So how did it all start? Now, the important thing to know here is that the relationship between Heard and Depp was already going down the drain at this point. But on April 22, 2016, when Heard hosted her 30th birthday party at the couple's penthouse in LA, her ex-husband had showed up late simply because he did not want to attend the party. Now, that infuriated Heard, and after everyone had left, she ended up throwing a Magnum wine bottle at him. To escape the situation, the actor just left the house for the night and woke up the next day to a picture from his housekeeper showing that someone had defecated in his bed. And let's just say that it did not look like it was the dog's mistake. Maybe because of the fact that the poop was covered pretty well with the sheets, almost as if someone wanted Depp to come home and find it like that. The actor claimed that it was probably Heard herself or one of her friends who had stayed back after the party because this is exactly how the actress liked to torture him, mentally. Even their maid describes the incident as horrific, saying that she knew at once that this wasn't a dog's doing. Depp and Heard's housekeeper Hilda actually submitted a written statement saying that the feces 100% had come from a human, confirming Depp's allegations. Heard alleged that it was one of their Yorkshire Terriers, Pistol and Boo. But, well, Johnny seems to be the expert in dog poop because he claims that it was just too big for it to have come from a 4-pound dog. After all of this abuse, Depp claimed that the poop incident was just too much for him and that this was the final straw in their marriage, and hey, do you really blame him? The actor also spoke about how the whole thing was a fitting end to their relationship, considering how messy it was all the time. Heard, however, had an extremely negative reaction to all of this. Almost as negative as the one Depp had when he found out that someone had left their fecal matter on his bed, but not quite. The actress said that the accusation was unimaginable for her, and even Johnny went on to say that the absurd incident had made him laugh, but he soon realized that there was no coming back from this for the two of them. I wanted nothing to do with her, claimed Depp as he read the last text he had ever sent to his ex-wife, wishing her nothing but good. Whew, that was a lot, wasn't it? But brace yourself, because this trial is only getting started, and considering all the bombshells that have been dropped in the past few days, it's safe to assume that as the hearing proceeds, things will only get crazier. So whose side are you on? Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, or the poop that finally ended their tumultuous relationship? Let us know in the comments.